Welcome to Vintage Pokemon Hunter Brothers, and today is an awesome episode where I just spent like over an hour geeking out with Shreddybrek. He's a wrestler, bodybuilder, incredible vintage Pokemon collector. Like his collection puts mine just to shame, and I gotta just nerd out and talk to him why Japanese vintage Pokemon cards are amazing, why Legendary Collections is legendary, and just like what the whole Pokemon craze in the '90s has done to like our psyches and just like created this boom again. It was just amazing. So I hope you guys enjoy. I hope you guys learn a whole bunch about just the Japanese collecting and why I love it so much, why Shreddy loves it so much, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. Um, yeah. And another thing that I really like about your channel, because I don't know, people watching this my channel, they don't know you yet, is that your collection is incredible. Well, I see your Japanese base set box behind you, and then
Yeah,
like,
so that's pretty much where that lives there. Let's get a close up of it, see if we can get it. So this is actually a sealed box.
oh my god.
So yeah, completely sealed. Something that you don't see, too often. I absolutely love this though, man. Like I've had this box for it must be around what we're in 2021 now. I think I'll have bought this box like 2009, maybe 2010, around that time frame. It is one of like my favorite pieces because as much as when we were kids, we collected English cards. Yeah, we started collecting Pokemon with English cards. So it was the English base set is what got us into it. But when I got back into collecting, when I was like 18 years old, I was a student, very minimal money. I was working a part-time job while I was studying. I was kind of flipping Pokemon on the side to grow my own collection. And this is what, like, when I got back into that Pokemon collecting world, I just fell in love with the Japanese cards. I had some Japanese cards from being a kid, but I just really fell in love with Japanese cards. So yeah, this is kind of like, I don't know if it's my prized possession, but it's definitely one of my favorite pieces for
Yeah, one
sure.
of my favorite pieces is pretty similar. I don't know if you have one of these because I know you have some really cool stuff, but it's a Japanese theme. I don't. Do you see my photo still? I don't see my.
Lost this. I can just see your avatar at the minute. I don't know if you've maybe you need to allow access to the camera again. Maybe.
Yeah, what happened? Okay,
There
that
we
was
go.
weird. Yeah,
I
that was
saw. I
really
remember
cool.
seeing that video. I remember seeing the video where you showed that.
It's so cool.
So, of those, how many have you opened?
Oh, I actually got them open. They're open.
Oh, you got them. Yeah.
So, but they're all still like really minty. I graded like I think like 15 or 20 of them of the cards that were
Yeah.
in here because they all look so minty. But
Yeah.
this is probably one of my, if not my favorite, like old vintage things in my
I
collection.
love that. Absolutely love that. And that seeing that there's actually brought some memories back. I used to have some of those, but it was things that I would get hold of and I would sell them back on. So I don't actually have any of them. And I never owned the actual case of decks either. The case, so I'm going off on a tangent here. I'm just so crazy before the end.
I know, I
But
know.
I remember back in the day, I don't know if this was the same for you. I can't remember when you got back into collecting, but when I got back into collecting like 12, 13 years ago, nobody really collected sealed products. So theme decks and cases of decks and things like that, that wasn't a collector's item. People would, open the case and maybe keep one sealed and then sell the rest. But I look back now in hindsight and I wish so much that I kept that kind of stuff. I wish I bought cases of decks and just kept them sealed because they look so cool.
They do. Yeah, I think I have like two theme decks that are sealed, and
Yeah.
those are, like some of my other favorite things. But I got, yeah, I remember from your other interview with like Gracion, you said like you got back in like 2008, I think.
That's right. Yeah. Big shout out Gracion, by the way, for anyone watching. If you haven't checked her out, she is hooked. She might get mad at me for saying this because she doesn't offer a shopping service.
Right.
But Gracion is hooked me up with some killer Japanese products that I wouldn't have had without her. So she'd give me some like mystery boxes. There's a Japanese Tag All Star box up here, which she actually got me. She just went shopping for me. I kind of give her a budget. She went shopping, filled up a box of goodies for me. I still got sealed product from that case as well. But yeah, Grayson's, she's really great girl. Well, really great girl. And I've, go and check her
Those
out.
those all-star boxes are amazing. And I think they're one of the things that are just going to keep on blowing up in price too. I don't feel like enough people
Yeah.
understand how great those all-star boxes are.
That Japanese box is probably the most fun I had opening on camera since I did YouTube back 10 years ago. I remember I opened, I think it was my first pack opening that. I pulled the Machamp cards. And to most people, a Machamp card is probably like, meh, it's not that great. But for me, being, like a bodybuilder, and like Machamp's one of my guys, you know what I mean? So for me to pull that card, it was just like, I didn't know the value of it, because that's the thing with Japanese cards. A lot of the cards aren't too valuable, so you can really be like a kid again and just have that enjoyment of either appreciating the art or collecting the Pokemon that you love, and you don't have to worry about spending hundreds of dollars on a single pack like with vintage and having to pull an X card to make your money back. You can just open it, have fun. And I pulled the Machamp card, and I was like, it's on my YouTube somewhere, and my reaction was so genuine. It was just like, I was just so excited to pull like a simple Machamp cards.
Oh, that's and what I don't think other people don't know in that set is they have trainer cards, full art trainer cards that haven't even been released in English. That just look.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, look, I have some right here. Posted.
Just loving that collection in the background as well of all those booster packs and that sealed products.
Yeah, yeah, that's a lot of sealed booster packs. Yeah. Some of them are open though. I just like it's just the pack art, but
the art, yeah.
But a few of them are still sealed. Like, check this out. I don't know if you can see this, but this is
so I saw the cards earlier tonight. I was scrolling through Instagram and I saw somebody post a picture of that.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So it's like the full art trainer, and it has a Pokemon in there too. And there's red with
that red. I've seen so much red trainer card art lately that I want to buy singles of. It's kind of on my to buy list. I've not bought any singles I don't think I've bought any single cards this year, actually. So that's almost 2 months in the year. But yeah, the next thing on my kind of collection list is buying some of those full art trainers. And I'm going to be honest, I don't know what sets specific full art trainers are from. But a lot of those Kanto trainers and the Gen 1 trainer cards, like there's a Lieutenant Sage that looks really cool. There's the red, there's the blue. Like it's Gary, but they call it blue.
Yeah, he's blue. The girl's green, and then that's red. I know I always get it mixed up too because I'm like,
it's on the games it's blue, and then in the Japanese, I think blue and green switched roles or something. Like I don't know, but there's a lot of those full art trainers that I would love to get my hands on. And to be honest, I want to just buy the singles because opening the packs, it's just a complete crapshoot. It's a complete gamble. You don't know what you're going to get. Exactly. So I'm going to get my hands on some of them.
And it's so hard to find some packs now, like the new packs and other packs. Yeah. It's just like what I've been doing is like I find a set and I look at the cards that are coming out and I buy the ones that I really like, just the singles. Yeah. And then if I see the pack somewhere, I buy them, and I'm just keeping sealed stuff because I really like the sealed stuff. I like the history of the Pokemon and I like the art of the packs. So I have the singles that I want. And then I have the packs that I have too.
That's a perfect way to go. And I think I recently put a video up about like top 5 safe investments, I called it. And I talk about sealed product being, like one of the safest investments. I genuinely, truly believe that sealed product is such a safe investment. But I completely agree in terms of getting the most bang for your buck or wanting to grow your collection. If you're on a bit of a budget or completing sets, buying single cards is 100% the way to go. It's obviously fun to be able to open booster packs. It's nice to be able to open booster packs. But as a collector, buying singles is by far the best way to go, in my opinion.
Yep. And there's just one thing, because I like my sealed stuff. There's one thing that I have, and I want to know, I don't know if you have it as well or what you think. So there's the Zap theme deck. That's the base set theme deck with Mewtwo and Pikachu. And there's one that has a chance to get that Ghost Pikachu stamp. So it could have Shadowless, and this is really rare misprint Pikachu. So if you have that theme deck, if you open it up, you get like, I want to say 3 or 4 copies of this misprint Pikachu that's worth like thousands, like I think it's over $1,000. So
tell me what Ghost Pikachu then. I don't think I've heard of this card.
Yeah, okay, because I really love misprints. So
I can tell via the channel. I was one of your shorts earlier. I can't remember what you called it, but it was one of the YouTube shorts where you're just flicking through and you were showing the misprints or the variations between some of the shadow cards. You mentioned the Vaporeon, the Jungle.
And the missing thing
earlier.
So this, they call it the Ghost Pikachu because it has a first edition stamp but half of it is like missing. Half of the first edition stamp is
Right. I
missing.
see.
It's
Yeah, yeah.
really, it's really light. So yeah, it sounds cooler than what it is.
I'm guessing then that was probably the very last print run of first edition before the shadowless.
Probably, yeah, it is because it no, well, it is because the theme deck would be a shadowless theme deck,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
yeah, so all the cards would be shadowless, and then you'll get that Pikachu that has
Ah,
that, yep,
that's
right,
it.
half the stamp of the
Yeah,
first
yeah.
edition, and
No,
yeah,
I
so
didn't actually know about that card.
yeah, so I have that theme deck back there, and I love Pikachu's too, and I'm like, I love that theme deck sealed, but I would love to have a few copies of that error
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Pikachu,
Do you
and
have any copies of that Pikachu?
no, I don't.
Oh, you don't have
I'll
any?
throw one on the screen or something so
Yeah,
people
yeah,
will
yeah.
see what it
People
looks
see
like.
what it is. Yeah, that's
I
cool.
don't.
That's
That's
the temptation, isn't it? Between like, do you open the sealed product or do you keep it sealed? And to be honest, like I've said this a few times on my channel, I don't have much of a desire anymore to open vintage product because
you've
to be honest,
opened it all.
I,
I've watched your channel. You have legendary collections like crazy and everything
I'd be up
else.
there with Pokemon if I opened all of my sealed collection with those kind of numbers. But I think it's just too expensive to open, man. Like, yeah, I've got to people. I think I not undervalue, but underappreciate. Maybe is my collection is the right word because I've had it for so long, and it's just like, oh, I've had that for such a long time. And then when I'm posting it on Instagram or showing it on YouTube, like people comment and say, like, oh, it's a great collection. But I then just look at people with bigger collections than me. And I don't compare my collection to that, but I think, well, my collection is, peanuts compared to, someone like an SM Pratt or, well, even just people on Instagram, you know what I mean?
Oh
Like,
my God,
they've got
SM Pratt.
first edition slabs, like, coming, for days. So, but I think I do underappreciate the collection I've got a little bit. And don't get me wrong, I do truly appreciate everything I've got and feel fortunate to have got it when I did get it.
Mm-hmm.
But going back to some of those sealed things, like that Japanese box there, it would be so cool to just rip through 60 packs of Japanese base sets. But then I kind of think to yourself, like, that there, it's maybe a booster packs of that in England would probably sell for, can't remember the price, but probably he's looking at close to £400, which is going to be over $400 a pack.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I want to
So
say that those packs are now like probably like $600-700 USD or something. They're just
maybe I've not looked at the prices.
they're reprinted. The CP6, the reprint of the Japanese ones are like over $100 now just for the pack. And yeah, there's your box right there.
There we go. So a big mistake I made as well again last year. So I bought this CP6 booster box last year. I paid £180 for that particular box there, which dollars maybe is $230-ish, something like that. That was kind of like the average going price. I saw a case of, I think it was 10 booster boxes at the time.
I didn't get it.
I didn't get it. It was £2,000. And I thought to myself, like, at the time, I had just spent money on an English booster box, and I'd spent like £600-700 on the Gym Heroes seal theme decks.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I've just spent like quite a lot of money on Pokemon. I was like, do I really want to be spending another £2,000 on Pokemon cards? So I was like, nah, I'm not going to do it. And then, not even a year later, maybe it's like 8 months later, I look at the price and I'm like, I wish I bought like the 10 of them, but hey, is what it is.
No, because now that box is probably the price of about that case.
Completely, yeah. Like, well, you're right, completely right. I actually saw one of those boxes going on eBay. Like, it was a listed price, so it wasn't a sold listing. It was just a listed price, but with literally £1,800 is what the buyer had it up for the buy it now price. And I was thinking, damn, I could have bought 10 of them for the same price last year. But yeah, happy that I got at least one. I think that's where, for me personally, like looking back, I'm a bit naive when it comes to the investment side, because as a collector, I kind of think as long as I've got one copy of everything, as a collector, I'm satisfied. So when I got one box of that, I was kind of like, okay, I've got one for my own collection. I'm happy. I've spent quite a lot of money this month. I'll move on. If I was thinking a bit more
like
kind of financially or investment, I would have bought the case. Yeah, totally. But I don't know. It's just those are the mistakes you make sometimes.
That's exactly me too. Like I buy things for me. I don't think about the reselling thing, and all the things that I love, I just buy one of. Like I don't have two of any boxes. I don't think. Yeah, I don't have two of any of the boxes because I want that box. I get it, and I'm happy. And then I see it explode in price, and I'm like,
and then I wish I bought.
I wish I got two because, and I think about selling it. But if I sell this, I don't have the money to buy it again. I'm not going to buy it again. I'm going to buy something else. And so I'm like,
yeah.
I'm gonna hold on to it. So I have all these things that I just bought one of. And like 2 months ago, in my head, I was like, I want to start something. I want to sell a couple of cards for like $600, and then I want to buy cards and I want to resell those and I want to make money. Well, I
Yeah.
did that. And then all the things that I bought, I just bought like one of, and I'm like, I don't want to sell any of these.
Man, I am the complete same. So when I was back, like when I go back to uni, my goal was to grow my collection by using only the money I was making from Pokemon, if that makes sense. Because like I said, I was a student, I was earning minimum wage, working 6 hours a week studying. I didn't have money. And back then, to be fair, Pokemon wasn't super expensive, but earning minimum wage 6 hours a week, I was earning like £40 a week, if that. I was using some of that money on a bus pass to get to, university and back. I didn't have much disposable income. So I started kind of buying, selling, flipping cards on eBay, using that money to grow my collection. So essentially, a lot of my collection that I've built up over the years, I kind of look at it as like, well, it was free because it was just generated.
Just reselling things.
But a lot of that back then, I would buy like basic Charizard raw cards was kind of my go-to of like buying, selling.
Yeah. That's probably an easy thing to flip. Everyone knows Charizard.
Super easy. Base set, actually buying job lots and bundles of cards, putting base sets together, selling the base sets as a complete, thing.
Okay.
Those were kind of like my bread and butter of, how in the early days, the very early days, how I got to start making money. But then coming back into the hobby, like in more recent years, it's kind of the thing of like, with my collector's hat on, or like my collector hat, or whatever you want to call it, I get one thing, I want it for myself, I've got it in my collection, and I'm happy, I'm satisfied. And then exactly what you said there, you see a couple of months down the line, the price is blown up, and it's like, well, I'm not going to sell it because that's mine, it's for my collection. But it's like, I missed out on so much money, but it is what it is.
Yeah. And I always look like the things that I do sell, it's rare. I probably sold like maybe 10 things of like anything worth any kind of value of myself. And I just look at them and I'm like, does this card make me like however much this thing's worth happy? Because I want to say there was a couple of cards that went up to like $700 during that big boom. And I was like, I don't care that much about this card. There's so many other cards I like more than this one. And for some reason, this one exploded. So I'll go ahead and I'll sell it. But it's rare that does happen. But
again, to be honest, it sounds like I'm talking to
yourself.
I'm talking to yourself, yeah. I mean, your channel's called, Twin Hunter Brothers, and I'm not your brother, but I could be your brother from another brother. It sounds like we're vibing very similar.
I'm gonna get ripped like Shreddy. I'm just like, you would beat me in any arm wrestle or any physical thing.
Training to be my champ.
Yeah,
I'm at that match talk stage right now, training to be my champ. But not a similar kind of situation. So last year I had a CP6 Charizard PSA 10. I bought it, and that was one of those cards that just blew up crazy, like price wise. It just boomed out of nowhere. When I saw the prices and how much kind of profit was tied into that card, I kind of thought, this is one of those cards that I expect to see a dip on. It's not going to sustain its value.
It did dip a little bit too, though, right? And then I think it's going back up.
Oh, so it went super high. In England, they were actually retail. They were actually selling for close to that £1,000 mark. Now, I was actually looking at CP6 Charizard on the eBay sold just last night, and they're going for between around £540, £550 up to about £600. So in dollars, I don't know. I want to guess that's maybe up to around $800 max, I would say that would be. So that was just one of those cards that I thought, this is going to dip because it just doesn't have that value because of how new the card is and how many of them are out there. I just had a good feeling that I was going to dip. So I sold it because it was like that thing of like, okay, this is a super cool looking card, but does it make me, £800, £900, £1,000 worth of happiness when I have a base set Charizard PSA 9, I have the Japanese base set Charizard PSA 9. And even though it wasn't a PSA 10 like the CP6, I was like, these are the originals. Like, I would much rather have them in my collection than the CP6. So I offloaded the CP6 Charizard, made a little bit of money on that. And then that money kind of just offsets the other purchases in the collection. So the PSA 9 Charizard I'm keeping, it kind of just offsets some of the money that went towards that.
Yeah. Another thing, I just got a CP6 Charizard maybe 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Because not graded, not a 10. I think it looks like it might be an 8 or a 9. I might get it graded because it's pretty, and I got it for like $120 or something like that. So it's like, all right, $120. One thing that I love about the CP6, and I understand that it did drop, and I do see why, but I do feel like in a couple of years it's gonna explode like even higher.
100%,
Definitely.
I agree.
One thing that I love about the CP6 Charizard that I think
the hollow effect.
Yeah, the hollow effect, and it's a first edition. It has the first edition stamp on the bottom. So if you can't get that first edition base set Charizard, you get that first edition base set Charizard art. It has that vintage look, and then if you get it slabbed up, it says first edition Charizard. And that's just
the
cool.
CP6 as well, hands down, the Japanese version of CP6 is far better and completely blows the evolutions out the water. Because you look at that CP6, I mean, I still don't have it to hand, but I've done some videos, I've got some photos, kind of got the two side by side. And at a glance, it's very difficult to tell the CP6 from the actual Japanese base set.
Yeah, definitely. They did so good mimicking the look of the vintage Japanese card, and you could sell like what they did to the box, to the CP6 box compared to the box that you bought underneath, and what they did with the pack art. The pack, like I have the pack art of the CP6, looks just like the original base set art in Japan.
Like it's just literally a condensed version of that there in the art. If you look,
at the bottom they didn't do that with our release. They gave us those other pack arts. They gave us those other things, The
Evolutions line, the cards themselves as well. So the pack art didn't replicate the base set, and the individual cards, they just look so different to original base set cards. Whereas the CP6 look kind of at a glance, you'd be hard pressed to tell the difference between them. Like say if you was a casual collector, you could easily confuse the CP6 for the actual original Japanese base set. So it was really authentic, like reprint. I'll use the word reprint. It was a really cool set.
Yep. You just have to turn them around though. Once you turn them around and saw the back, then you'd be like, But with the English one, any collector, they'd look at it. And I mean, besides the attack damage, they'd see the box on the bottom is different, and then
the way that the lines and the space in there and everything. I mean, it's a good kind of homage to the the original, but in terms of nailing that authentic feel, the CP6 absolutely did it. And to be honest, I've said it on my channel before. I think we've discussed this briefly before, even in comments and things like that. Japanese, for me, I feel is a lot better than English. Like English for me is what the nostalgia is at, and obviously we both speak English, so that's going to be our kind of first choice of collecting. And for money and investment wise, majority of English cards are going to be higher returns than what English would be. But for just coolness and just the quality, Japanese for me is by far better than English prints.
Me too. And I think because I was listening to you and Gracie on talk about that as well. Thing I don't know if you this.
She was bending. I think it was a Charmander card.
You're like It was only worth 10 pence or whatever. It's just like it's okay. But what I think it is for me, and once I started collecting for a while, is I watched so many YouTube videos. I've opened up so many cards. I've seen like all these English arts and everything, most of them. And then when you go into the Japanese, they have so many different promo cards. They have the vending series. They have all these amazing just artworks that you're not used to seeing in the English world. So you just dive into those Japanese releases.
Almost like a separate. It sounds crazy. 100%.
Yeah, and it gets my brain. It's like I haven't seen this. I haven't seen that. And this is like the original. They originally come from Japan. I feel like they have like so much more passion in like some of the awesome card releases they have over there. Like the Mario Pikachu I have over there. All the Poncho Pikachu.
That's when I slept on. I wish I got it. It's boomed in price. It's that thing now of like, I could have picked it up last year for a lot cheaper than what it is now. It's one of those things where it's like, do I kind of bite the bullet and pay more for it now? Or do I just sit on it and then pay more, down the line? It's like, what do I do?
Yep. I'm so happy I got it when I got it. I think I paid $140 for my PSA 9. And now I want to say it's about like 1,000 or something.
Even the sealed sets, the boxes that they came in, that's what I was looking at buying. There was the Mario, there was the Luigi. Absolutely, just the art of Japanese stuff, whether it's the boxes, the packs, and the exclusives they do, Japan just nails it every single time compared to, you know, the English print of things. Getting into the Japanese world, it sounds crazy, but it's almost like a completely different hobby as well. It's almost like, you know, those iceberg videos that you see on YouTube where it's like, how deep does it go? It's like
Yeah.
English is kind of there, then you've got the water there, and then Japanese are just like, whoa, there's so much, like, there's so much to look at. And I remember when I was, you know, getting back into collecting when I was a student, that's where I kind of learned and picked up on a lot of the Japanese things. Like the first time I learned about the vending machine cards, I have a video somewhere on my old YouTube channel of me peeling some of those cards off, and I still have the sheets that I peeled in a
Yeah,
binder.
me too. Me
And
too.
it's such a cool piece to like keep.
It
Like,
is. It's so cool.
even
People,
though
not enough people don't know about those either. And like, I
exactly,
didn't know about those until like 3 years ago as well.
yeah,
And then I find out about it, I'm like, yo, sealed packs are this much. And when I bought those vending sheets, I think the vending sheets when I bought them were like maybe $10-15 for like a sheet or something. So like, let me buy a few of those, and these are so cool.
It's such a cool piece. Even when it's peeled off, it's just a cool like kind of backing card to keep in your binder. And then I've got a binding by a vending sheet still like unpeeled as well in my binder. But some of the promo cards, like the off the top of my head, one of my favorites is the A&A airline promos.
Oh yeah, I got those up right over
Such
here.
cool pieces, yeah. So
that's the train one. I got the train, and then I got the A&A right behind it.
I moved my head close. I moved my head close to the camera as if I'm going to get closer to my shelf.
Yeah, I got. There's
That's
my
going,
A&A
man, yeah,
thing and the
in the
promos.
original envelope still.
And then this is like a bullet train thing, and they had
I
like.
don't have that one. I've never actually seen that one before.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like when you go into Japan, there's like you said, like the icebergs like this. So like I'll search for one thing and I find all these other cool cards. Like there's like these Japanese trainer magazines that have really cool promo cards that I'm looking into getting to right now before they explode. There's a Japanese Game Boy promos. Like I just picked up the Game Boy Dragonite. That looks amazing.
The Dragonite, the Mewtwo, the Game Boy Mewtwo,
and the Lugia.
There's a Lugia as well. Yeah,
that one. I want the Lugia.
And the Mewtwo are two cards that I've been looking to buy raw for on and off now for a couple of months. There's a few Facebook groups I'm in, and I post every so often, kind of looking to buy one. And it's just something I've still not got around to buying yet. But that Mewtwo is some of my favorite. It probably is my favorite Mewtwo art of any card. It just looks absolutely class.
I gotta look that up right now. What is this? Mewtwo Game Boy?
Yeah, if you just put a Mewtwo GB promo, it's such a cool looking card. And through the power of editing, I'm sure it'll magically as we're talking about this.
GB. And there there we go. Oh my goodness. That is so gorgeous. How have I not seen? There's like different colors in the holo too. It's like green, it looks like yellow, to me, red, blue.
Almost a mysterious look to Mewtwo, like whereas the basic art of Mewtwo is just your Mewtwo there. I like the legendary collection of Mewtwo, the legendary collection artwork, but that wasn't a holo card, it was just a normal rare card.
Right.
But that, for just the artwork, that GB promo of Mewtwo is one of my absolute favorites.
Yo, I'm in love with this card too. Where is he in? I see like there's some buttons behind him.
It's kind of just, it's like a dark background. It just looks like such a cool piece. There's another more of a modern card, not vintage, even though I am typically like, it's no surprise or it's no secret. Like I am a vintage collector more so than modern. But the Armored Mewtwo card, again,
yeah.
Cool card, like,
that one blew up in price too a while ago. I mean, everybody was opening those up, and I was just that looks cool. I'll get it later. And now it's just kind of
that's the start. Like I've done that so much. Even 10 years ago, I literally had that exact attitude to every first edition set. I completed all of the unlimited sets that I wanted to complete. I think binder sets. The next goal was first edition, but like first edition even back then was, you know, it carried a premium price tag compared to the limited. So I was like, okay, the next goal after completing the unlimited sets is I can either go first edition or Japanese. I went Japanese because I just love Japanese cards. I wish now that I also got the first edition cards back then, because, you know, the price of Pokemon last year has just gone crazy. And it's that thing of like, to spend so much money now on raw cards without seeing it in person, for me, it's just I can't do it because you don't know if it's going to have nicks on the back.
And how people package the things too. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
The first CP6 Charizard, I had to send it back because they packaged it so terrible, and it had a big gash on it and everything. I was like, no. And then
I bet it was one of these just in an envelope with no top loader, or just
that's a Zapdos. I bought a base set Zapdos near mint. They put it in an envelope, no sleeve, no top loader. Just here you go.
It's crazy, isn't it? That's absolutely crazy.
I was like, do you guys know anything about
cards,
Pokemon or cards or collectibles or shipping?
Especially when like these people are selling, like they've got these rare or vintage cards. You think, oh well, they must know. Like if they're selling it as an individual card, they must know what they're doing. But no, it's like it's if there's just a birthday card, a friend or a family member in the post, just put it in there, no protection. Yeah. That's you don't treat Pokemon cards like your greetings cards.
It hurt my heart. Like when I saw that, I was like, no way. I messaged the guy. I was like, I told him, I was like, I think that's when I made a short too, just how to package things. Cause when I got that Zapdos, it just, oh my goodness. And yeah, he took like half the price off, and I was just like, okay, I'll keep it instead of shipping it back.
Yeah.
But I had somebody send me a card in a CD case with like no case on the card or whatever. And there's like all these like weird prongs and stuff inside the CD case, and they just put it in the case and just like taped it up and put it in an envelope and then just sent it. And I was like, what is this? And opened it up. I was like, who does this? What is this?
Creative, like for the sake of spending literally pennies on a sleeve and a top loader, and then maybe he's getting like,
cardboard.
I'm looking here in the corner of like where I film. There's just a load of empty cardboard boxes. So whenever I buy, packages, whether it's Pokemon cards or not, they obviously come in the big postage boxes. Mm-hmm. I literally keep any cardboard boxes I get.
Me too. I got like in that closet right there. It's just all the cardboard.
I'm literally looking at a massive pile of just literally cardboard boxes here. It takes literally no effort to get a card, put it in a sleeve, put it in a top loader, cut a little bit of cardboard out for the back, for the front, and then put it in the envelope. Or go one better, put in a bubble envelope.
Yep. And then I put my little card in there, and then I use painter's tape, just that blue tape it's not too stressful pulling it apart so you don't bend anything. And it's like, and whenever I send something, I feel like I'm hoping I'm sending it to like another collector, like somebody like you, not somebody who's going to flip it. So it's like, I appreciate like this person that's buying this is buying it because they appreciate something that I really appreciated as well. So let me show them that I really appreciated this thing and send it off to them.
And they can look after it like this.
Exactly. Which I sold something that I never thought I'd be able to sell. Like it's something that like really meant a lot to me. I didn't really see any value in it. I don't know if it has any value. I couldn't find any of these recently sold. But somebody was looking for it and they really wanted it as like an awesome piece in their collection. So I looked at it and I was like, you know what? I'll give it, I'll sell it to them. So I don't know if you've seen one of these before. I'll show it to you because I have it. I'm getting ready to send it out. It's a certificate of authenticity for the Mew. So this is when they gave the Mew out.
Oh, the Mew promo card.
No, actually, it's the same design as a Mew promo card.
Yeah.
But when they gave the Mew out to the Game Boy Color and the Game Boys, like you go to like an event.
Oh, right. Okay.
Would give you the Mew, and then they give you a certificate.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
So I never actually attended one of those events as a kid. I had to get my Mew the old-fashioned way through a cheat code. What were they called?
Game Sharks or Game Genies or?
They weren't called Game Sharks in the UK. I think they were called Exploders. I think the UK brand, it's essentially a Game Shark or a Game. What was the other one you mentioned? Game
Genie.
It's essentially the equivalent of that, but the brand in the UK. I had one for the PS1 as well. You could plug it in like the back of the PlayStation 1. There was a cheat code book with all like these long codes you'd put in for each game and things like that. But I remember that's how I had to get my Mew, by glitching it into because I wasn't, I couldn't get to an event when I was a kid.
Yeah, and the thing that I just, because I was talking to the guy about this stuff for a while because he's really into it, which is also really awesome. Like whenever you get to talk to somebody who has passion for something that you really like.
Especially when maybe he's like, well, I don't know how old you are exactly, 30, early 30s?
Yeah, I'm 33.
Yeah, so very similar age, I'm 30. So it's good to be able to speak to someone who has, we kind of grew up in the same time. We had the same stuff when we were kids. And 20 years later, here we are able to kind of talk about all this stuff. We know what we're talking about. Like we know you're telling me something, I'm learning something, but then you're telling me something else. I remember that.
Yeah. Oh, which, all right. Kind of totally derail that conversation. I'll just really
be a 2 or 3 part episode.
your legend, since Legendary Collections is like my favorite set of all time, because I feel like they did a remake
And I cannot believe you said that. I have said that so much that Legendary Collection is legit. For nostalgia alone, it goes to base set, but for hands down, my most favorite set is Legendary Collection.
Yeah.
Like, it is the best set out there, Legendary Collection.
Yeah.
It's like talking to myself.
They nailed the pack art perfectly with like the 3 pack arts they did for those. They have the new reverse hollow foil. They named it something like exciting, not base set 2. They named
base set 2 is my
collection. Yeah. And then the only new art they have is that Mewtwo. Everything else is a reprint. But and then even the symbol, just like that medallion, that medal, so much too. It's just because like it's like with the number 2, it's like, oh, this is second place. This is, you should have got the other thing with the medallion. You're like, this is Legendary Collection.
It just,
this is
I actually did a video
set.
One of the earliest videos I did on when I started making Pokemon videos last year, I think it was like the 2nd or 3rd video I made, maybe, was around Legendary Collection. And the reason I did that was because it was one of those sets that, as a collector, I absolutely love. I genuinely think it is my favorite set. If not my favorite, it's a very close second to base set, and that's just purely down to nostalgia. But I think Legendary Collection edges it for me.
Yeah, I think Legendary Collections openings are more exciting than base set openings.
100%, because it's such a more of a variety. You've nailed it on the head there. It's more exciting because you have that reverse hollow, you have that rare or the hollow. It's like 2 hits in one pack, like,
or non-hollow, because they have cool non-hollows too. You got cool non-hollows, cool reverse hollows, and then you can get a cool hollow.
Yeah.
And all 3 of them. So, and you don't know which one you're gonna get.
More exciting. I agree. It's more exciting than base set. I think it's one of those sets that's super. I don't want to necessarily use the term undervalued, because some of the cards, like the PSA 10 Charizard in that set, is a card that goes, I'm sure it goes for like over 12,000. This was last year, it went for $12,000. So the prices may be a lot higher now. I've genuinely not checked the prices in a long time. But it's one of those sets, because it was towards the end of Pokemon being popular, it wasn't as printed. It's an English exclusive set, so you can't get it, obviously.
That's the other thing, English exclusive, and it was very small print. So
very small print, very exclusive. That's why the box prices are as crazy as what they are. But I think it is, I hate to use the word underrated or undervalued,
because it is so expensive. It is like the packs and stuff are so expensive.
But at the same time, I think some of the individual cards in that set could easily boom in price, like way higher than what we're seeing now. It's definitely a sleeper set. And I always say on my channel, like, I'm no expert. What I say is my opinion. Don't listen for me for financial advice. But I think Legendary Collections, the actual single cards, are ones to look out for. If you're looking for a cool investment, if you're looking for a cool piece for your collection that's also got potential to raise in value, that's one, the Legendary Collection. I mean, because the box prices and the pack prices are always so high, look to the single cards and look for the
exactly. That's what I'm buying. I'm like, I have a lot of the common and uncommon Legendary Collection singles and a few of the rares, and I have one pack back there. It's not sealed though. I just got the pack art because I love it so much. It's the Evolutions one. Yeah. And if someday, if my channel makes some money, some more money or something, one of the first things I want to buy is an actual Legendary Collections pack.
Yeah. Set a GoFundMe. I'll donate to that.
What? You'll do what?
Set a GoFundMe. I'll throw a donation in for that.
Okay, yeah.
We'll fund the vintage collection pack opening.
Yeah, GoFundMe for Vintage Pokemon 100 Brothers Legendary Collections pack.
yeah. The link's down in the description below, guys. Go get on it.
You could feed homeless people or do something else on some
save
other
dog,
day.
Save the
right
cat.
now, what really matters is that I get a
Legendary Collection, the EV pack, the Evolutions pack sealed, so you can open one. So on the topic of Legendary Collection, I'm glad you brought that up. We have completely derailed this, but I'm glad you brought that up, because when I talk about mistakes I've made in Pokemon, I've only genuinely got 1-2 mistakes that I've made in Pokemon. First one is opening this.
Yeah.
Because I actually have a video of this on YouTube from 2011 or 2012. The footage is of me opening this, ripping the seal off it, opening the pack, opening the box, and I still have the actual Wizards of the Coast seal that was around this box. I still have the wrapper from upstairs in my collection. I've sold the packs as like individuals and 3 set packs. The other mistake was I had 2 of these sealed booster boxes. I sold one of these for like, it worked out just over $200. Yeah.
Oh my god! Now that box, that empty box alone, probably goes for like how much you think just that empty box display? I would say
I'm
it
not
would be
checked.
like,
I'll be honest, I'm not sure the price. I would guess, it's going to be, I don't know, $200 maybe. I don't
yeah,
know.
that's what I was thinking. I was thinking around
Yeah.
$200 just for that empty box display. I could see that selling for around
But
200.
that's genuinely the only mistakes, and they're both legendary collection. It's my favorite set, and it's that thing of like back then, didn't have much money, didn't have much disposable income.
Yeah. And you
I was
don't
having
know, you don't know that it's going to
oh yeah,
explode like that.
no one knew that. But the reason I actually sold them, it's not all bad news. The reason I sold those boxes is because Legendary Collection was kind of next on my hit list. I was like, right, that's the next set I want to complete in my binder. So I was like, right, I'm going to buy 2 boxes, open both boxes on my channel, see how much of the set I can complete, because I wanted to get the master set, so the normal set and the reverse hollows. I knew 2 boxes wasn't going to be enough to complete the entire set. So I was like, I'll open 2 sets, 2 boxes, see how much I can complete through pack openings, and I'll buy the rest in singles. Between me ordering them, because I think they came from America or Canada, they came from out of the country. Obviously, I'm in the UK. Between those, me buying them and getting them delivered, I bought, and had delivered 2 complete Legendary Collection sets and 1 reverse hollow set. So before they came, I then had 2 complete sets, a reverse hollow set complete. I got the boxes, and I was like, well, there's no point opening the boxes now. There's no point opening the packs because I've accomplished the goal. I've got the set me binder. So I was like, I'll sell these boxes on, I'll flip them on. Obviously, I wish I kept the boxes for my sealed collection because, yeah, they're boomed in price. I wasn't a sealed collector back then. I kept some sealed product. Just, I don't even know why I kept the sealed product, to be honest. But yeah, that's like legit the only mistake or the only regret with Pokemon is getting rid of those 2 boxes.
One mistake that I've made that I'm kind of like punch myself about, but I just kind of talk myself out of like, oh, it wasn't that bad. Was the delivery Pikachu. I didn't get a delivery Pikachu because I saw it and I really didn't even think it looked that cool. And I was like, I'll just buy it online. And then people just like fell in love with the delivery Pikachu, and it is an only English release promo.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then by the time I wanted to get one, it was just selling for too much online.
I've noticed that though. It's funny you say that because I've done that a lot with modern products over the past couple of months. And I think it's because it's only recently I've got more into modern, but the amount of times I've seen something announced that's a modern car, I look at it, I'm like, meh. And then it gets more and more hype when it's out, and then you see people posting about it everywhere on Instagram or YouTube. So that you expose to it a little bit more. And the more you see it, the more I'm like, actually, it is pretty cool. But then by the time it's clicked in my brain, and I think, yeah, I want one of them. It's well past the pre-order stage, or it's well past, being able to buy it, and the price has already gone up. And I'm like, well, I didn't want to buy it when I could have got it for RRP. So why do I now want to pay like, 3, 4, 5 times the amount for it? I'm like, nah, I'm not going to buy it. And I missed out on so many cards because my first reaction is like, I'm not that interested. I did it with Shining Legends when that set was first announced. I had no interest in it. I don't know why. It just was one of those things. I was like, like I wasn't really excited by it. And then it came out on, I think it was this past week it came out over here in the UK. And I can't get it anywhere. And I'm not paying secondary market prices when, it'll be back in stock in a few weeks' time. But it's one of those things where it's like, you don't kind of get excited about it until it's a little bit too late and then you miss out.
Yeah. With Shining Legends, that's how I feel too. I feel like, I'm like, yeah, the Charizard's cool and the Ditto's kind of cool, but like, I'm gonna buy the Ditto single, and I bought 1 pack, so I was only able to find 1 pack, and that's getting sent to me. So I'm like, I'll have that pack, and hopefully, I feel like it's gonna be kind of like Champions Path, where it's like really crazy.
Yeah.
And then now you could start to find Champions Path things around and stuff every once in a while. So
I got banned
until it dies down
because I bought so many Elite Trainer boxes in the gym collections, like the pin badge collections, because I wanted that Charizard. And then I remember opening my first ETB. I pulled a rainbow. I can't remember the trainer. Was it Piers? Maybe, I can't remember. I pulled a rainbow trainer card from it in my first pack, and I was like, oh, this is amazing. In the same box, I pulled the mysterious food can gold card. I was like, oh, this is really cool. It had a good first box. Then I opened another 3 boxes and I pulled absolute garbage. I opened all of the pin sets that I had, and I spent a couple of £100 on Champions Path. And literally outside of that Charizard card, well, there's 2 Charizard cards in that set. It's a dead set. So I was like, right, I'm not paying any more for this. And I think with Shining Fates, because there's a lot of Pokemon in there that aren't Gen 1 and Gen 2, for me, pulling those Pokemon just aren't exciting. Like, I look at like, there's just not that excitement there. So for me, I kind of felt with Shining Fates, it was going to be another one of those things where, yeah, you've got a cool Charizard, there's a cool Lapras in there. What's the other cards? There's the cool Ditto.
Yeah.
But I think what cemented it for me was when I opened Shiny Star V, I got 2 Nessa boxes from Japan. Again, Gracian hooked me up with them. I opened 2 booster boxes, and it was a little bit like, meh, I've just opened 2 booster boxes. I don't really feel that excited by this. I still have a Nessa box sealed with 2 booster boxes sealed in it because I've got no desire to open that. So I was like, I'm going to just repeat the same process with Shining Fates. So that's why I didn't pre-order it.
Yeah, and at least Shiny Star V, you're gonna get that hit because it's, you know,
and,
they have the
5.
Marnie. They didn't give us the
Don't
Marnie.
get that in English sets, yeah.
Yeah, and I want to say they probably have some other awesome trainers. And the hollow pattern on the shiny Charizard is a bit different. And I think I kind of like the
it is.
one better too.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I have Shiny Star V. I just have one of them. And the Shiny Star V, they have the variations of the box. So like there was a first release, which some people are calling first edition, but it's not really first edition Shiny Star V.
Still the same.
Yeah, the card is still the same. The box art's just I think it has like something on the top.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I find Shiny Star V a lot more exciting than Shiny Fates.
I think Shiny Star V, because as well, the packs are cheaper and you're always going to get like, is it what? It's 5. You're always going to get like a holo card in there and like the reverse holo. There's like, you can kind of open a pack and you get like, is a 5 holo kind of card.
Yeah. Like half of the pack is like a hit.
Something shiny. And yeah. It's a lot more fun to open. And I don't know, I think because I felt a little bit underwhelmed opening the Shiny Star V, I was kind of like, I'm not too bothered about the actual Shining Fates. Whereas Hidden Fates, when it comes to modern, I've opened very little, but Hidden Fates, I'm looking around here where I'm filming, and I've spent like over £700 towards the end of last year opening Hidden Fates because the base set of Hidden Fate is all Gen 1 Pokemon, cool Gen 1 trainer cards of the Gen 1.
Yeah, the evolutions, shiny evolutions, that's a big thing.
It's such a cool set. Mm-hmm. Then you've got the shiny vault, and even the Pokemon that are like past Gen 2 that I'm not so familiar with. Some of the art is for the full art, the GX cards. The art is absolutely sick. When you pull a Gen 1 or a Gen 2 shiny Pokemon, whether it's like the baby Pokemon or the baby shiny or the full art cards, it's such like a cool set. So for me, Hidden Fates kind of ticks all the boxes of it's got that right blend of nostalgia, cool art, and it's an exciting set. Shining Fates, because it's so much, you know, it's all the generations. It was just a bit like, I don't know, just not as exciting for me.
Exactly. I think Shining Fates has everything to get a scalper excited.
Yeah.
But not like the
collector, especially as well, if you're kind of like us and more of a vintage collector, it's a little bit hard to get excited about the newer generation of Pokemon, if that makes sense.
Exactly. We like Hidden Fates was awesome. We had the Pokemon we love. We had that shiny hunt that we like. And yeah, it was just really cool. And then you have that Charizard. Now Shiny Fates, you got that Charizard, but everything else, like once you get that, you'd probably like I'd be done collecting it. And
exactly.
It's just not worth the hype right now to me. I feel like the hype is up here, and then where the set really is down here. Like if I could actually go out to Target and like get some of them, I totally would have gotten some of them. But exactly. I'm not going to try this hard to get a set that I'm.
If it was available at retail over here in the UK, if I could walk into a shop, I would buy a couple of maybe the Pikachu V collection sets.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Or something.
Some sealed because they look pretty cool sealed, but I'd open some packs more so to just have a little bit of fun on the channel or Instagram and have a little bit of fun opening. But because it's not available at retail, it's one of those things where I'm just like, I don't care. Like I'll wait.
I think Vivid Voltage is cooler than Shining Fates.
So I've actually got. So my nephew has just recently got into Pokemon. I've actually got, because again, even Vivid Voltage at the minute in the UK is hard to get hold of. But we found these in just like a little corner shop. Like, I don't know if you have like corner shops or
nerdy shops, or what would you call them? Another thing, nerdy shops.
So it's a corner shop. So you might call them a convenience store. Maybe he's in America.
Yeah.
It's just like we call them news agents over here. So it's like at the end of a street, it's like on a corner of a shop, and they'll sell like I don't know, the newspapers, lottery tickets,
Mhm.
like food, things like that. Maybe it's called a convenience store where you guys are. But I managed to pick some of these up. Just a bunch of Vivid Voltage packs. I think I've got it's 10 or 11 packs there that I bought.
Nice. See if I have
My nephew opened some.
Check this out. Gracie talked about when she talked about the card shops having that huge, like, all the storage of all the crazy stuff, and they don't really sell out there. But she said there was one thing that they did sell out, and then like a couple days later they came back.
Restock them,
The big old
packs, the big massive packs. So I did have it there, but I've moved it. So again, Vivid Volt. What was it called? Astonishing Volt Tackle, the Japanese set.
Yeah, I think Volt Tackle. I think
so that came from. It's like a Pikachu box. So I don't know if you've seen the Nessa boxes from Shiny Fates.
The
Nessa boxes.
I've seen them.
The Volt Tackle, they did something similar, but the boxes were like a little bit bigger. And one of these big boxes has 2 Volt Tackle boxes in the big box, and you get those big packs in there. So I ordered 2 of them. Gracie hooked me up with them, and I've still got both of them sealed. So I've actually got 4 Volt Tackle booster boxes. And it was one of those things where I bought them, and for whatever reason, like a little bit of time passed where I didn't get around to opening them. And you know, like when the hype of a new set dies down, then you're a little bit like, I'll just, you know, you don't have that.
Yeah.
And I just put them away, so I'll probably just keep them sealed now. Put them in the seal collection.
Yeah, that's something that I actually did buy 2 of, but I think I'm just gonna keep them both until like maybe 10 years from now, because I really like the Pikachu stuff, and that's something that's just really, really awesome.
That fat Pikachu is such a throwback to, you know, the OG base set Pikachu as well.
Exactly, and they have they have the big Pikachu, they have amazing rares, and they just have a lot of cool art and stuff in that. And then the pack art is cool Pikachu and like other stuff. So it's just like,
I personally think that Vivid Voltage, like, I'm not saying that Vivid Voltage is going to be a more popular or a more investable set, because I think a lot of people do genuinely like Shining Fates. But for me personally, as a collector, Vivid Voltage all day over Shining Fates.
Yep. Like once a Shining Fates hype goes down, it's like, Vivid Voltage. If I saw, like, I want to say like 4 months from now, if I see Shining Fates and Vivid Voltage together, I'm grabbing some Vivid Voltage.
Yeah. Well, if you look at, like, a lot of people are obviously expecting Shiny Fates to be the next Hidden Fates, but if you look at the popularity of Hidden Fates, even now, people are going crazy for Hidden Fates packs. There's still hype around Hidden Fates. I don't see the hype being around Shining Fates in a year's time from now. I don't see them needing to do, you know, reprints a year and a half down the line. I think it's just, I don't know, it's kind of not cashing in, but capitalizing on the popularity of shiny Pokemon. But Hidden Fates was special because it was the first of its kind. Now we've got the second version of that. Like, where do we go from here with shiny Pokemon? Like, it's almost.
I mean, they had shiny Pokemon in like some of the Neo sets and older sets, but I mean, this was like they brought it back. It seems like it was shiny Pokemon were gone for a while, and then they brought them back, and they brought them back with those, like we said, the Gen 1s and the early generations, which was kind of like, oh, shinies are coming back, and all this excitement.
Yeah.
I mean, there's other shinies. No, I don't think there's like
there was Shining Legends.
Yeah, Shining Legends. Look at Shining Legends, but it was just such a key thing in Hidden Fates that we're all.
Hidden Fates was that first shiny vault where there was a subset of just cards.
Exactly.
And then Shining Fates is just kind of like, I'm not calling it a base set 2, but it's almost like the sequel to Hidden Fates. And how often is a sequel as good as the original? Outside of maybe Star Wars with The Empire Strikes Back, how often is the sequel better than the first? Although saying that, we had Pokemon Gold and Silver, which hands down best games ever.
I put more hours into Silver as a kid than like any other game ever. I remember it kind of scared me
as well.
I looked at, like, because there was a thing where you could see like how many hours you have on it, and I forget what it showed. But as a little kid, I saw it and I was like, oh no, I might have a problem. I was like, that's a lot of hours.
So I remember when I was a kid, it was with Pokemon Red and then with Pokemon Yellow. I've come from a big family, so I got like 6 brothers and sisters, mom and dad. And I remember it got to the point where I was playing Pokemon so much, my dad went out and bought me a battery pack for the Game Boy that could plug into the Game Boy, and you'd plug it into like the wall adapter. I was going through batteries so quickly. So
batteries were the most important things when you're a kid. Whenever we go to any shop, I'd be like, AA batteries. We need AA batteries. You don't understand.
You saw that red light come on your Game Boy. If you were kind of
dim a little bit, such a flickering light. flickering
Yeah.
red light was like
Then
the
it would
worst
go,
thing.
yeah,
And
because
the
you knew.
best feeling was putting in some new batteries and the light would be so bright. I'd be like,
Yeah.
oh, my soul, that's a
But as soon as
reflection.
you saw that light dimmer and that light dip, it was like a race to either finish the conversation you're having or finish the battle because you needed to save your game. Because if that light went off, it was game over and you lost all your progress from the last save.
Yep. I had
So to
here,
kind
I
of
have it right
prevent
here.
that,
Yeah, here's my old Game Boy, and I had this little thing, so I'd have it around my neck like all the time. I wasn't playing it and just be in the car, just whatever. And there's my red version. This is the original. I think that's my original red version, possibly.
So my red, I still have my original game file from when I was a kid on it. The battery still is like survived all this time. And I've been wanting to do a video on this for like a long time, just kind of loading the game up,
Seeing all the Pokemon.
Yeah. But I know because it's been years since I've fired it up. But I know the last time I put it on, the game is glitched to hell from doing the missing no, to duplicate the rare candies, put it in item slot number 6, infinite rare candy cheats. My game is glitched to hell because I spammed the hell out of it.
You caught a Masingo? Did you catch one of the Masingos?
Oh, of course it did.
That's why it did it. You can't catch those guys. You gotta run.
My game is so, and I remember even when I was a kid, I remember the first time it glitched, it went into battle. And like you have your the little like the user interface with like how many the little Pokeballs and the HP of your Pokemon, that kind of looked like a little bit glitched, and I had like a bit of panic, and I was like, the game's broke, so I turned it off, and I was kind of thinking like, right, I'll just let it cool down for a little bit, and hopefully when it turns back on,
like that's how it works.
That's not how it works. So yeah, forever glitch, but it's one of those things where it's like, I'll be quite sad when that battery dies because that is a part of my childhood. Do you know what I mean? Like to be able to load that back up. And I remember a lot of my Pokemon have like Dragon Ball Z character nicknames. You can like name your characters because I'm a huge Dragon Ball Z fan as well. So I was like nicknaming Pokemon like Dragon Ball Z characters. And yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like, it's glitched to hell, but it's like a nice little time capsule from when I was a kid. But I played Pokemon so much. My younger sister, 2 years younger than me, she used to go on at my mum and dad and say, Adam's playing this game too much, and get them to tell me to turn it off. And I was just like, no. Like, you're brilliant. You are when you're a kid. Just
gotta give her that spear finishing move.
Yeah. Through the window. Yeah, that's the kind of stuff you have to put up with when you're a kid.
Yeah, man, that was crazy. I was addicted to Pokemon, probably pretty nuts until I got out of it though. Like when I got into high school, I think I did Yu-Gi-Oh for maybe like 6 months. I did Yu-Gi-Oh, and then from there I just got really into like cars and probably women. And it was like cars and ladies. And then I was still nerdy, but and then I went into college, and then it was weird. I joined the military, and I was actually stationed in Japan for a while.
So I remember talking about this. Yeah.
So I was stationed in Japan for 3 years, and I'd see a lot of friends and
a lot of Pokemon when you were over in Japan.
No, I wasn't. But the kid me inside knew that I still love Pokemon, and I knew more about Pokemon than a lot of these other people playing it.
Yeah.
But I was married. I was in the military, and I was like, I want to focus on doing good in the military. I know if I dip my toe into Pokemon, it's going to be over. Yeah, it's game over. I'm in Japan. I'm seeing my friends, all over the ship. Whenever they're waiting in line.
Oh, we're back with sound.
Okay, back with sound. Yeah, so I'd be on the ship, and there'd be like a lot of people just like EV training. They'd be battling. They were playing their Pokemon games. And every once in a while I'd ask them, I was like, oh, because I didn't know too much about the newer Pokemon, ask them about that, ask them how they battle. And then I'd watch it a little bit, but I'm like, no, don't buy it. If you buy it, you're going to be stuck so bad. Don't touch it. And yeah.
Here, 10 years later, talking about Pokemon on YouTube.
Yeah, and now, and the funny thing is it's just like I kind of kept like I've been married to my wife for like over 10 years now, and she didn't really know that I was into Pokemon really that much at all until I started the channel, and she was like, I didn't know you knew anything about Pokemon. Then all of a sudden, it seems like you know everything about Pokemon, and you're just like keeping this a secret.
Well, I can't remember what this statistic is, but it's one of those facts that I've heard over and over and over again. But kids that grew up with Pokemon, there's a part of our brain that has apparently, it's full of information about remembering those original Pokemon characters and names. So it's like, you'll never forget what those are. And that part of your brain can never be, I can't remember what the exact fact is, but it's kind of like, there's a part of your brain memory that is literally reserved for remembering Pokemon because it's so,
that part of my brain is like
I'm,
this big, and the rest of my brain is like that.
I don't want your viewers to think I'm making this up because it's one of those facts I've heard so much, and we're going to have to Google it after this, and we can maybe even do a follow-up video on this specific thing. But it's one of those things where because Pokemon was apparently, well, Pokemon was such a big thing and was such a big part of, children's development and at that age, part of your brain kind of memory is just full up with remembering Pokemon because it was such a big thing. And it can never be kind of like, if you were talking in computer terms, it can never be erased or replaced with something else. So it's like permanently fixing your brain. Like you'll always retain that information about Pokemon.
Because that was like in elementary school, our brains were like mush. We were just ready to take in everything.
Like
all of a sudden, this anime
all this Pokemon
and it just like molds our brain into a Pikachu.
Yeah.
And it's like that's it. You're set. And I could learn other things, but it's in this Pikachu shape.
That little Pokemon section, that's the brain, and the Pokemon section's there, and yep, you're never forgetting that.
Never forgetting that. That's there. Yeah,
honestly, though, I'm going to look that up, and I'm going to send you an article after we finish this chat because I'm not making that up. That is a genuine fact.
I believe it. Like so many kids in the 90s were just because Pokemon was such a huge thing, and it just like it was. You go to school, and the most exciting part of like school was showing your binder off to other people or looking at other people's Pokemon cards.
In the playground, showing the cards off, swapping cards.
Our library had decks, and the librarian taught kids how to battle. Like you could go into the library, and they all had like the school name on the back of the card so people wouldn't steal them. And the librarian was into it because like some of the teachers and stuff were into it too where I was at. So they'd be like, all right, this is how you play. This is how you do that.
Ever.
Yeah, coolest school ever. And then
look how we've ended up. Look at where we've ended up. So it's done as well.
Yeah, and it's so many of us. Like I am amazed when I talk to somebody that's like my age and they're like, no, I don't know Pokemon. I'm like,
oh, it's crazy.
What were you doing? What were you
doing as kids? Like literally, it's bizarre. Especially, it's so crazy. Like my girlfriend, she is into Pokemon, not as much as me. But like we were watching the anime last year, we kind of started from episode 1 and went through. And when it changed the Johto theme tune, she was gobsmacked. She couldn't remember that happening. And I was like, yeah, of course. And I was like, so, I love the Johto. I love Gold and Silver. I love Gen 2. And I was like, amped up for this. And she was like, this isn't as good as the original ones. And I was like, it is the original ones. And she was like, there was this new theme tune. And she didn't remember that about the original from when she was a kid.
Yeah, I remember I got out probably a little bit after, like I watched some of the Gen 2 cartoon. Like I remember his shiny Noctowl and stuff. Yeah. Too, right. That was really cool. I always want a shiny Noctowl. That'd be so cool.
Yeah.
And but I think after Neo Genesis was like the last set I really collected as a kid.
Yeah. So I stuck around for a little bit longer than that as a kid. So for me, I was all the way up until Legendary Collection. And I actually remember the corner shop, so at the end of the road, there was a shop that sold Pokemon cards. And I remember being in there one day and there was a Legendary Collection booster box on like the counter with the packs in. So I remember Legendary Collection being out and me still collecting then. And Legendary Collection came just after Neo Destiny and before the E-Series. Then when the E-Series came out, I'd moved on to Yu-Gi-Oh! By that point.
Yeah.
So I kind of fell out of Pokemon after Legendary Collection, which was late 2002. Maybe it's just before, maybe it's early 2003 when the E-Series came out. And I remember Ruby and Sapphire came out, and I was just like, this is garbage. Like, kind of like, that was
I wonder what it is. What it is that like 90% of the collectors, they go from Pokemon to Yu-Gi-Oh! And then get out. It seems like I don't know if like the characters, the Pokemon characters, at a certain point they seem like childish to us, and then we're like, look at Blue Eyes and Dark Magician. They got
it's like a little bit more like it's a little bit cooler because you're like you're hitting your teenager years. It's like I think for me, and I've mentioned this on my videos before. Pokemon I got into when I was 8 years old. So then when you transition from like school to high school, it's kind of like you've got to level up kind of thing. And I remember I had a Pikachu pencil case. And I remember my mom said to me, oh, we'll get you a new pencil case because you don't want to be taking your Pikachu pencil case to high school. So I was all right, okay. So I was like collecting And it sounds ridiculous now because it's like I'm 30 years old, literally making videos talking about Pokemon. But as a kid, like 11 years old, 10 years old, it's like, oh, you need to be cool. And Pokemon's a kiddie thing. And in the space of like 6, so in England, you finish school and you have like 6 weeks off over the summer. So when you finish, we call it primary school, you finish that school, then you go to high school and like you're 11 years old or something like that. And it was like within the space of 6 weeks, it's like, all right, I'm not a kid anymore. So it was like I have to kind of like almost hide the fact that I was into Pokemon. So it's like I didn't take Pokemon cards into school anymore.
Everybody in the early 90s, we were all showing each other our Pokemon stuff. We all go to high school and we just have to put on a fake face and be like, no.
It's like going to like that corporate environment with a suit and tie. It's like that kind of similar kind of thing. And yeah, it was just one of those things where it was that like you kind of had to hide that you're into Pokemon until you found other people that were into Pokemon. Then after school, you could talk about Pokemon. But Yu-Gi-Oh was like cool. Like anyone in school could collect Yu-Gi-Oh, and that wasn't seen as nerdy. So it was that thing of like, okay, and I genuinely enjoyed Yu-Gi-Oh, and I got into Yu-Gi-Oh. But it's kind of that thing of like, rather than going from Gen 2 to Gen 3 of Pokemon, people like my age, your age, we went from Gen 1, Gen 2 to Yu-Gi-Oh rather than Gen 3. So I think for me, Gen 3 is just like, it's my least favorite generation because I just tired to that like negative thing of like, that's kind of what made me fall out of Pokemon, because I was like, what the hell are these new Pokemon? Like, they just look garbage. They wasn't as cool as Gen 1 and Gen 2. I was kind of getting a little bit older. And then Fire Red, Leaf Green, when those games came out, that what got me back into Pokemon. So maybe it's had like a year break from Pokemon, and then that got me back into Pokemon, and I've kind of been, the lifelong fan since.
Yeah, like for me, it was like so many other people. I think it was Evolutions that brought me back. I saw the Evolutions packs, and then I went home. I went to California to visit my family, and I was like, I used to always open up these packs with my brother. I was like, check these out. These are just like the packs we used to open up as a kid. And I just buy a bunch, and I'd be like, come on, me and you, we got to open them up. And then from there, I just watch people on YouTube open up Evolutions and other sets, and that's when I got into like other new sets and stuff that, like Shiny Legends and such on. And then I was like, all right, this is really cool.
Point, isn't it? When you find something that you like, you see other people collecting or covering those things, and then you just exposed into this world again of collecting and Pokemon. It's a good jumping on point.
Exactly. And that's what like people ask me in my videos, like, what should I collect? And it's like, you need to collect what you like. And then they're like, what do I like? And it's just watch these YouTube videos. Like, if you want to watch smaller channels or big channels, just watch them open up cards. And then whatever you think looks cool, then that's what you get. And that's how I did it. I saw Evolutions. I knew I liked that stuff, and I started watching other people. Oh, they're opening up this new set, or this set I never heard of. Let me see. Oh, I like that card. I like this card.
Cool cards and cool art, and that's what you get into it. Yeah, same with me. Like, I'd kind of fell out of collecting for a couple of years, and then got back into it. And then I'm opening modern product now. And it's just that thing of like, there's cards I see now and I don't know what sets they're from, like some of the Red's trainer arts and the Red's Pikachu trainer arts.
Those are awesome.
I mean, I don't know what they are, but it's like, it's a really cool card. And then you look at that set, and then you say, oh, there's loads of other cool cards from that set. And then you just kind of expand your knowledge and say, oh, well, I want to buy that, I want to buy that, I want to open them. And that's how you become like a collector, and you just collect what you're enjoying, what you like.
Exactly. And then you look at the pack arts and stuff and some of the Japanese stuff, like there's this set, I forget what this set's called, but it has a whole bunch of not a whole bunch, but it has quite a few like Neo reprints and stuff.
So that pack is, I had a booster pack from that in a mystery box that I got. I don't even know what the set's called, but the art on that was cool, and the pack art was the same as the box as well that I opened.
Yep. And they have I think they have the old Onyx, they have the old Lugia, old Ho-Oh art, old Tyranitar, old Feraligatr, like Neo art, all in this set.
Gen 1, Gen 2 is just so nostalgic for me. Like, it's great.
Yeah.
What I'm gonna have to do, my girlfriend's just texted me, I need to go and pick her up. I don't know if you want to pause this and then we can continue when I get back, or if you want to wrap this video up and then I could genuinely see this if you have time for it. I could see this being a weekly thing on our channels, because we've been talking here for like an hour. And the time
it's already been an hour.
It's 11 p.m. now over here. I think it's been about an hour.
Yeah. I don't know.
We'll wrap this one up, and then
we'll wrap it up. We'll do another one. I don't know if it'll be next week or something, because my schedule's kind of crazy, but we'll definitely do another one. It'll be a lot. Yeah. So much fun, man.
Yeah. I don't know if you want to do I don't know. How do you want to sign this off?
Thank you guys all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Check out Shreddy, his awesome channel. Bah, bah, bah.
No, thanks for having me. It's been, this past hour, whatever it's been, we've been talking, it's absolutely flown by, and I look forward to doing this again with you for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, and we didn't even get to talk about 25th anniversary of the Diamond and Pro remix.
Yeah, the masses.
Okay. All right.
No, really great time. So thanks a lot.
All right. Bye.
See you later, man.